High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Hello and welcome to Overtime. I'm Scott Leber.
And I'm Drew Collins. We're glad you could join us for our final overtime of this basketball season. What a season it has been. We'll look back at some of the biggest plays and the biggest moments.
The Pecatonica girls team had a lot of big moments lately. They're hoping to wrap up a state championship tomorrow. We'll catch up with them. We'll also catch up with another state line native who could also win a state championship tomorrow.
We'll be joined by former two-time state champion Sophie Bruner. She was a huge star with the Ackman Bulldogs in her day as a player. Let's start things off with the boys sectional championship action. The best game in the entire state tonight might have been just one few minutes from Rockford and Pecatonica. The Pecatonica Indians and the Eastland Cougars went at it.
Yeah, Peck is ranked number 1 in the state. Eastland was ranked 5th. They met last year for the sectional championship. Pecatonica won that game. This is the Gillies Heating and Air Conditioning Game of the Week, and it felt like the population of Pecatonica doubled tonight, and everybody was crammed into the gymnasium. Everyone in Pecatonica, Lanark, Shannon, and elsewhere wanted to see this game. The first quarter, unlike any other, Eastland won the tap and proceeded to freeze the ball, trying to shorten the game and pull Pecatonica out of its defense. Peck didn't budge. Eastland certainly wasn't going to budge, so this was a chess match, only there's far more action in a chess match. Clock winding down to 3.5 minutes. Adam Allender could have studied for his upcoming algebra quiz. Parker Krogman, he was just trying to stay awake, resting the ball on his side. Same for the Pecatonica guys. On this went until there was just over a minute to go. That's when the action finally started. The ball gets batted away. It goes out of bounds off of Pecatonica. And after the first quarter, it was 1-0 Pecatonica on a Peck free throw. Fortunately, this started to look like a basketball game in the second quarter. Zion Brahma goes for that hoop. The Cougars getting the ball to Parker Krogman down on the block. He scores. Again, the Cougars go underneath to Krogman. Only this time, he gives the ball up to Zy Haverland. He scores. At halftime, Eastland led 8-5. The coaches and players were hearing a lot of boos as they headed to the locker room. On to the second half now. Krogman gives it the head fake. Up and in. Then Joshua Jennings will come up with a steal for Peck. He'll put some points in the bank. Pecatonica had its first lead since that 1-0 lead. It was 13-12. Big moment here. Midway through the third quarter, Peck's Cooper Hoffman went down with an ankle injury. He left the court. He did return to the game a few minutes later to test the ankle, but it just wouldn't hold up. He was done. That was with Peck up 13-12. From there, Peyton Spears nailed this big three. Bryman, though, answers with a three. Allender drives, gets it to go in the bounce. And then Haverland inside will score as Eastland went up by 7 in the fourth quarter. Peck couldn't get much going offensively. All Hoffman could do was watch from the bench. Haverland's going to get another bucket for the Cougars. He led them with 14 points, and then it was over. Eastland defeated Pecatonica 36-31. The Cougars are sectional champs, and they head to the NIU Super Sectional. What an unreal game this was.
We've been trying to get these guys all year. They're a great team, and we knew we have to play some of the best basketball of our season, and just to get that done, it feels awesome.
You cannot match this feeling. I mean, the heart, the determination for these guys is unmatched.
It was really amazing, getting to come here and just beat them on their home court. It's a really great feeling, especially since this is a sectional final, and getting to beat them in the championship is pretty special.
I'm so proud of our guys. They made it a goal to get back to this game and come out on top after last year. They've done everything they needed to do.
Take me through what was happening in that first quarter.
They held the ball. They limited the possessions. I believe we had the lead after the first quarter, 1-0. Hindsight, we had the lead. I don't know if we necessarily should have done anything different, but when you don't come out on top, you always second guess yourself.
Cooper tried to give it a go there after the injury, but it just wasn't going to happen, was it? Huh?
No, his ankle obviously was pretty severely sprained. He's a tough kid, wanted to help us as best he could, and unfortunately, injuries happen.
So Eastland advances to the NIU Class 1A Super Sectional. That game will be played Monday night at 6 o'clock. The 32-4 Cougars will face 18-12 Aurora Christian. Now, the craziest sectional in the state this week has been the 2A boys sectional at Marengo.
2 last-second buzzer beaters that knocked out Winnebago and Byron. That left Rock Falls as the last big Northern Conference team standing in the postseason. Tonight, the Rockets took the court at Marengo against Princeton. The energy for Rock Falls tonight was unmatched. Mr. Max Burns scorches this, and the roof was about to blow off the arena. The Rock Falls community brought the heat tonight. But Princeton had some shooters. Here's Jordan Reinhardt. He finished with 17 points. We jump to the fourth. Rock Falls leads by 1. That's when number 1 Austin Castaneda goes coast to coast. The Tigers were trailing by a few. They get the turnover, and Noah Laporta grabs the miss and slams this one down. It came down to free throws. And watch big old Cole Mutniks use his 6'8" frame to grab the board and steal and seal the deal. And this is when the buzzer hit 0. Look at the raw emotions from the Rock Falls Rockets as they take off. Coach Zach Sandrock was full of emotion as he won sectionals for the first time since 2006 for Rock Falls. The Rockets win 49-43 and advance to the 2A Sterling Super Sectional on Monday.
Yeah, everyone's hyped, everyone's happy. It just feels amazing, it feels awesome. The whole crowd, our student section, my team, everything. We're all hyped and we're all excited.
Staying together as a compact, don't let anything fool us, and just having a chip on our shoulder. I mean, we haven't been here since 2006, so, we're in to show what we are about.
It's an amazing thing when you can fill a court out here after a win with fans from the community. There's, words can't explain how awesome that is.
Before we do anything else, let's reveal the winner of our Overtime Athlete of the Week contest. On Monday, we announced our 4 finalists.
Athlete of the Week is brought to you by McCloskey, Kessler & Associates. Our finalists were Eastland's Parker Krogman, Pecatonica's Brody Black, Rockford Lutheran's Danielle Johnson, and Winnebago's Brody Larson. We gave you all this week to cast your vote.
And the winner is Pecatonica's Brody Black. Almost 2,000 votes were casted. Black received 39% of them. Congratulations, Brody. 4 state championships will be crowned tomorrow in Normal and girls basketball.
The Pecatonica Indians are hoping to be one of those champions. We catch up with them and look at their state final matchup next. You're watching Overtime. The girls' basketball season ends tomorrow, and it could end in the absolute best way for Pecatonica. The Indians could be crowned state champions of Class 1A. And Drew, you were at their semifinal win yesterday.
They played a great game against Elgin St. Edward. They won it 54-41. They won with their great defense. They forced 27 turnovers. They turned those into 25 points. As coaches say, even the best teams can have an off night on offense, but great defenses always show up. And that's why this Pecatonica team is so good.
And they do have offense, especially on Elena Rager. She stepped up yesterday just as we would expect her to step up.
She scored 25 points. She shot 50% from the field. She made 5 shots from deep. The Indians played their game in the semifinals. Now, they just have to do it one more time tomorrow.
We really did believe we could do this, and everybody has kind of had unwavering support and belief the whole time. But now to be here, there is a little bit of a sense of like, holy cow, we are playing for the state title, and it's an awesome feeling for our community and for our school and team.
We have taken nothing for granted at all. We showed up at 6 a.m. for whatever it could have been. Practice, lifting, doesn't even matter. We just all showed up. I've never seen a group of girls like this.
It's just a fun atmosphere to be in. It's great. It's the great way to go out, honestly.
This is for all the marbles right here, so what's the message?
We're going to keep our foot on the pedal. We're going to do whatever it takes to win. We're going to play hard and just focus on all the little things.
The championship game will be at 1 o'clock Saturday in Normal. Pecatonica will face the Carleton Hawks. They have a record of 30-7. Their star player is 5'9" senior Lauren Flowers. She averages more than 24 points per game. She is Carleton's all-time scoring leader.
Peck will put their clamp-down defender on Riley Alexander on her, I'm guessing, for much of the game, with some Elena Rager and Peyton Thomas mixed in there. But that is going to be the matchup to watch.
Right after the Pecatonica Games finishes up Saturday, another State Line native will be trying to win a state championship.
Peoria Notre Dame head coach Lane Langhoff, he is a graduate of Winnebago High School. Now, I remember watching him play for Bago many years ago. Peoria Notre Dame is the team that knocked Stillman Valley out of the Super Sectional this past Monday night. The Lady Irish were 2A state champs last year, so Langhoff and his girls will be going for back-to-back championships tomorrow when they play Nashville. Lane's a good guy. I'm going to be rooting for his team tomorrow.
Peoria Notre Dame looked strong against Stillman Valley and again yesterday in the semifinals. Coming up in a bit, we'll look back on some of the biggest moments of the season.
Next, though, I chat with two-time state champion and former Aquin standout Sophie Bruner.
Two of the best girls basketball teams in state line history were the Freeport Aquin teams that won back-to-back state championships in 2012 and 2013.
I remember them well. They were coached by Jeff Curry, and they had great players like Aubrey Chang, Ellen Bruner, Haley Chang, Elena Erdmeyer, and Katie Steekel. And they had the young woman who, in my opinion, is the best all-around girls basketball player I've ever seen from our area, Sophie Bruner. She could play any position, 1 through 5. She had size, which made her tough in the post on offense and defense, and a force on the boards. And she could handle the ball like a point guard. She could run the floor. She had great vision and a very high basketball IQ. After Aquin, she went on to star at Arizona State. Then she played professionally, briefly in the WNBA, and then for several seasons overseas. Now Bruner is on the coaching staff at Rockford Christian. This spring, her Aquin teams will be inducted into the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. So I felt this was a good time to sit down with Bruner and reminisce about those teams and get her thoughts on more current basketball topics. First of all, congratulations on your Aquin teams getting selected for induction into the Hall of Fame. I think it was 12 years ago you won the second championship. How vividly do you remember those times with those Aquin teams?
Honestly, they're really, I really remember them pretty clearly. They were some of the best times in my life. Those are some of my favorite teams I've ever played on just because they're with my best friends that I grew up with my whole life that I'm still really close with. So those games are very clear in my mind.
You've achieved so many things in your career at all levels, but how special are those two state championships to you?
They're really special, just with the people we did it with and how we did it. I just feel like we did it the right way. We didn't have, much selfishness going on. We all wanted it for each other. Nobody really cared how much time they played. We just wanted to win. Nobody cared about points. Nobody cared. And that wasn't ever a conversation. And I think it started with our coach, with Jeff Curry, who obviously has now passed away, but he kind of had that camaraderie around him. Like, I don't care, what you think this culture should be. This culture is going to be how it should be ran, and that's the right way. And we were all really lucky to have good coaches growing up.
How emotional did you get last year when you heard Aquin wasn't going to be able to continue with its high school program?
Honestly, I think the biggest word to describe it, which I think everyone would kind of agree with, is just the disappointment. Just because if we know what it was when we were there, obviously things have gone into the decision of why, and I totally understand it. It's just disappointing because it was a great school when I was there. And athletics were obviously great. We had great teachers who really cared about us and a good community of parents. And I really am sad for those younger kids that went to our games when we were in high school and they just didn't get that same experience. So for me, it's really sad. And just to know how it was done the right way, and the community of Aquin itself is just an incredible place to be brought up in.
You traveled the country playing for Arizona State in college, then you experienced a great part of the world as a professional. Yet here you are back where your roots were first planted in Northern Illinois, and we're happy about it, and you're coaching the girls here at Rockford Christian. What kept you here, and how much fun are you having as a coach now?
I think a big thing is just family. Being away, I was honestly away for about 7 years, just 4 years in college and 3 years playing pro. I missed out on so much. So just being close to family and my close friends was a huge deal. I honestly never thought I would stay around here, but it worked out. When COVID happened, I didn't go back overseas, so I kind of decided to be done when that happened. And then I got into teaching and got my master's, so it was kind of a leeway with that, and then naturally got into coaching. I never thought I would want to be a coach. But I did AU during the summer when I played pro, and I liked it, so I ended up being a high school assistant varsity and JV coach, and now I really enjoy it. And I just want to give girls what I was given growing up, which is great support, great teaching, but just little things like fundamentals, not all this craziness that you see different things being taught, just teaching it the right way, but in the right culture with really good people around you.
What's the biggest piece of advice you would have for a freshman, sophomore, 8th grader, 7th grader playing ball? Is there one thing, the common denominator, that you always want to emphasize to kids of that age?
Just have fun. I think a lot of times right now, kids just have so much pressure on them. And I think, you can blame a kid, but kids learn that from adults. They aren't born with that. So I just really hope for kids that they, one, know how to work hard and do it often, be the best worker out there, the hardest worker, and have fun. Because if the game isn't fun for you, you're not going to be able to play it for a long time.
The popularity of women's basketball at the college and professional level has just skyrocketed over the last year and a half or so. Do you think that's here to stay? And how encouraged are you to see so many people embracing now women's basketball?
Honestly, it's really exciting. And I know there's obviously there's controversy with it all in the sense of why people watch it. I'm the type of person, I'm just happy they're watching it. So I don't care if they're watching it because of Caitlin Clark. I don't care if they're watching it because of Angel Reese. I believe that they're watching it because of all of them. I think a big pull was Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the different ones that, really brought attention to it the last couple of years. But my opinion on it is I'm just glad people are watching it. It's a great sport, and girls are working really hard. It's nothing to take away from guys, but I think people are just really into girls basketball right now, and the popularity of it is really awesome. And with that, I just hope it sustains it. I think it can. I just think as adults and as people who are really impacting, especially girls in basketball, we have to do it the right way.
I'll tell you, Sophie has so much to offer with her basketball background and knowledge. She is a great mentor for young people. So I would encourage any young person out there, try to be around Sophie, whether it's at a clinic or a camp or school, wherever you can.
She could have lived anywhere in the world after playing all over the world, but she came home to the state line. That's pretty neat.
Yep.
Coming up next, we look back at the biggest moments of this season. This has been a basketball season unlike any other. There were so many milestones that were reached and so many great accomplishments.
And so many great highlights. So let's take a look back at some of the very best moments. Those kids kept us hustling, trying to be there for all those great moments. It was a challenge, but boy, it was worth it.
It's always fun to see the excitement of the players' faces and their parents' reaction when they reach those awesome milestones. And that moment at Rockford Lutheran when everyone showed their support for Bain Workman, who was battling cancer, that was just the best.
Oh, it definitely was. We'll be right back.
All right, this is our final show for the season. We've enjoyed it. We hope you have too.
Thanks. We'll see you again come football season. Good night and enjoy your weekend.